How can you live off of your trust fund? My name is Paul Vázquez with Tax Lab. We help people become ethical millionaires. So hopefully you did take on that opportunity for the experiment that I gave you of putting all of your earnings into a separate fund that you can then use for investments. Now, maybe this was just a different envelope or jar, or maybe this was a separate bank account at a different bank, or maybe this was your Roth IRA that you set up. So if you were experimenting that, putting all the money in and then just taking the money out that you needed to pay the bills, hopefully at minimum, what that experiment did was it set up the system. It set up the tools that you need to become a trust fund baby for yourself or create that family legacy that people like to talk about. So hopefully at minimum, it did that. Now, you may have gone back to regular living. You may have hopefully kept up at least a habit of putting over and saving some money. Hopefully that taught you, hey, you can live on less than what you earn, and this is the amount you're going to be throwing over there. So let's take a look at the next step, the next phase, to begin to experiment a bit more on how to live off of a trust fund, how to operate and have the mentality of a trust fund baby or somebody who's setting up that family legacy. Okay, so let's say you have a Amazon Prime subscription and it's costing you about $15 a month. Now, how much would you need inside of your investment so that way your trust is paying your Amazon Prime membership? Maybe that's not maybe that's more of a luxury item, but I just wanted to pick a number, and we're just going to use that as an example. So you got your Amazon Prime membership, and now we need to figure out what annual percentage rate or what the annual fee for that might be. So let's go ahead and times that by 12. And we've got $180. Or maybe this is a one-time purchase of $180 that you're going to do for the year, the new pair of sunglasses or whatever it is you're paying $180 for the year. All right, it's either a one-time purchase for the year or a subscription for $15 a month. So whatever it is that you're spending money on. Now we've got the amount that the spend is, but how much money do you need? Let's say it's a very safe investment. Let's say it's a current money market account and you're getting that at 4%. So we would just divide that number by 0.04, that's 4%. Click enter. So that's $4,500. So you need to have at least $4,500 growing at a 4% interest rate every year to have your trust fund pay that out. Now, you don't want to cannibalize that account. So once you have that set up and you have that bill coming out of that account, maybe you need to set up some type of bill pay arrangement or automatic draft. But once you've got that set up, you don't want to just burn that out. And you need to look if your money market is paying on a monthly or quarterly basis. You're gonna have to figure that out on your own there. But then what you want to do is make sure that you're adding that into your monthly contribution that you're doing every pay. So, right, you were paying it out of that operation account. Now you're going to be paying it out of that investment or savings account. And so you have that draft set up that way. But then you're going to take that $15 a month and you're going to add that into whatever monthly contribution you're making because you would have paid it out of there. You're just changing where it comes out of. And as you go, you can begin to add bills. But the thing is, you need to start thinking this way. If I want to spend $15, I need to save $4,500. I need to put that into my investments. I need to make sure it's already there and growing before I commit to spend that $15. So when somebody says, hey, it's just going to cost you $15, what you need to hear in your head is, no, that's going to cost me $5,000 or $4,500, right? You need to begin to think as though you're living off that trust fund. And so if you're going to add a new bill in, you need to start thinking that way, that you need to earn or save that much. We want to flip that mentality to where hopefully you're not living off of everything you earn, but you're saving everything that you earn. And on top of that, if you're going to start spending more money, maybe if you're living on a fixed income, so to speak, because you're living off of that trust fund, now you have to say, okay, if I want that, I either have to let this trust fund grow, I have to still live on less than what the trust fund is earning, so that way I can have more things later on, or I need to go out there and find some way of putting more money in right now. If you're not 100% living off of that, you do that through your labor, right? Your labor right now is going to create and fund all the future fun that you can have, or Amazon Prime subscriptions or sunglasses, whatever it is that you're getting. So you want to begin to change that mentality, and this is kind of the rubber meets the road thing. This is the whole point, right? The whole point of having a trust fund and living off of a trust fund is that it actually happens. And you have to begin to think and have that mentality. When somebody says, hey, it's just $15, what you need to hear is, hey, it's just $5,000. Do you have an extra $5,000 that you can burn? Because if you're living off a trust fund, that's really how much it's going to cost you. You've got to find a way to get an additional $5,000 into that trust fund if you're going to be spending $15 a month. Now, that's another reason why I had you do that first experiment, because it helps you realize that if you're going to be living off a trust fund in the future, if you're going to be living off of your savings and not your earnings, then you have to kind of rethink what are the things that are worth that spending that money. And so, yeah, you kind of have to reevaluate what are luxuries, what are wants, what are needs. First, let's get the needs taken care of, then the wants, and then the luxuries, right? But you can start to think about those transitions. Take that experiment, find the smallest bill that you have. Hopefully you've got that money in there. Hopefully it's investing right. If you want a plan, and if you want somebody to help walk you through this, we can do that here at Tax Lab. You just go to our advisory services, lab.tax, click on advisory services, go down and book your free 15-minute consult, and we'll see if advisory services are right for you. If not, if you're not ready for that, just subscribe and listen in and follow along, because we're going to be dropping more ways that you can do it even on your own, even without our help. But that's here on this platform where everybody's getting access for free. Well, thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you all the success.